Hello everybody, and welcome to Movies by McManus, the channel where we talk about movies, comics, TV, books, whatever type of media you're into, in the context of who created it and what effect it's trying to have on the world. I'm your host Greg, and today we're going to be talking about two TV shows, Dave, created by David Burd, and Atlanta, created by Donald Glover. Both shows are similar in that they're both about up-and-coming rappers trying to make it in the music industry. So let's discuss how two different shows can talk about the same issue from two vastly different viewpoints. Let's start with Dave. Now, I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to talk trash about Lil Dicky or the show Dave. I genuinely think it's a very funny show, and Lil Dicky is clearly talented as a rapper. It also has a lot of very likable characters and great performances, specifically from Lil Dicky's real-life hype man Gata and comedian Andrew Santino. So let's explain who Lil Dicky is. Dave Burd grew up in a wealthy suburb outside of Philadelphia. He worked in advertisement before quitting his job to make rap videos on YouTube, where he quickly became successful. And his real life becomes the premise of the show. A privileged white rapper not being taken seriously because he does not fit in with the world of hip-hop. He is also constantly letting down his friends, family, and girlfriend in order to completely focus on his art, which to Dave is the price you have to pay in order to be a serious artist. Now let's compare this to the show Atlanta. This show follows Earn, played by Donald Glover, a 20-something Princeton graduate who can't find a job that pays enough for him to take care of his infant daughter. When Earn finds out that his cousin Al is rising up as an underground rapper by the name of Paperboy, he finesses his way into becoming Al's manager. During the course of the series, Earn is constantly outmaneuvered by other music managers, who are not necessarily better at his job than he is, but are able to get ahead because of pre-existing connections in the music industry that Earn doesn't have. So while Earn from Atlanta has to constantly be worrying about making enough money to survive to the next day, Dave has wealthy parents and can commit himself 100% to his rap career. If the show Dave is trying to say that you need to commit yourself 100% to your work in order to make it, then where does that leave Earn and Paperboy? The characters in Atlanta don't have the option of committing themselves 100% to their work when they have a hard enough time just making it to the next day. Paperboy needs to sell drugs because his rap career doesn't make him enough money, while Dave is completely fine living off his $0 income. In fact, the show seems to suggest that Dave's main obstacle is the fact that he is white and from a wealthy family, and therefore the world of hip-hop doesn't take him seriously, despite being legitimately talented. But this very premise would seem like a slap in the face to the characters in Atlanta. Even if we entertain the misguided notion that Dave is at a disadvantage because people in the hip-hop community don't take him seriously, that pales in comparison to the struggles that Paperboy faces just to get into the industry itself. Maybe Dave has a harder time getting his foot in the door, but Paperboy and Earn have a harder time just getting to the door itself. It is also important to note that Dave wants to be a rapper, while Paperboy doesn't see any other option. Dave has the privilege of choosing his career, while Paperboy's opportunities are extremely limited. So let's look at two specific episodes. The Dave episode, Jail, and the Atlanta episode, Woods, both of which deal with the theme of being uncompromised in your vision as an artist. The Dave episode, Jail, explores Dave's unwillingness to step away from a song where he jokes about prison rape and talks about the injustices in the criminal system itself, something that he knows nothing about. Dave says that a true artist would never compromise their vision, but in the end he concedes, realizing that there's more than his own ego. But the stakes are never particularly high for Dave. And after all, removing one song off an album isn't a lot to ask for. In Woods, Paperboy is asked to change his entire image, including starting a fake relationship, because that's what's expected of him as a rapper. He sticks to his guns, wanting to be more like his true self, and this decision ends up getting him robbed, stranded in the woods, and almost killed. In the end, Paperboy realizes that if he wants to make it, he has to change and put on the persona that everyone expects of him. So not only is Paperboy asked to give up more, but the consequences are higher for him if he doesn't. Once again, I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to talk trash about the show Dave or Little Dicky. I think it's a legitimately funny show, and Little Dicky has some songs that I like. My main problem is the message of the show itself. The fact of the matter is that privileged white rappers are not at a disadvantage in the hip-hop industry. And even if they were, would that really be so terrible? When there are so many issues that rappers like Earn and Paperboy have to deal with on a daily basis, then why would it be such a bad thing that there's one industry where privileged white people don't have the advantage? But like I said, these are both very good shows, and while I think Dave is the funnier of the two shows, I definitely enjoyed Atlanta more. But what do you think? If you have an opinion about Dave or an opinion about Atlanta, feel free to share it with us. And if you like this video, subscribe to our channel, check out our podcast, and follow us on social media at Movies by McManus. I'm your host, Greg, and have a good night.